Hey everybody, just wanted to come on at the beginning of this and remind you that these videos are sponsored by Guildhouse Games, the creators of Varia. If you want to get yourself the deck that you're about to see reviewed or any of the decks from Season 2, please feel free to go to guildhousegamesllc.com/shop and don't forget to use the code GEEKFORALL for 10% off. Thank you and enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And we are back with another Varia deck review. We are continuing our review of the Kickstarter Season 2 Varia decks. As you can see, we are here with the Boreal Ranger.
Yes.
Which seems very interesting. Amy, why are you, because as you'll see, I guess, in a moment, Amy is the one opening this box. What stood out to you about this one? Why was this one of the ones that you wanted to open up?
I didn't look at it. I did not know it was going to be a polar bear with armor and a gun thing in, I guess, the Arctic Circle. I don't know.
Sure. At least a
snowy area.
Yes, exactly. A cold environment of some kind. Sure.
But I was like, oh, Rangers are cool.
Yeah. As you know, as D&D classes go, or just fantasy classes in general.
You know, they're usually good at like trekking and archery and hanging out in a forest. And that stuff is all cool. This guy does not appear to be what I would consider to be a typical ranger.
Well, so more recent, I'll work off of solely D&D 5th edition, right? Rangers in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition will have a favored terrain in general, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be specifically forest. So in this case, it could be tundra or something to that effect for him, if, of course, it works in a similar manner or whatever. Before we get into the deck itself, we have been going over some of the promo cards that we received. And so today we're going to be looking at, since we last did the Psychic Fencer deck, which you can check the iCard in the top right-hand corner right about now to go look at if you have not seen that video already, if that's something you're interested in doing. But this is the one of the Psychic Fencer cards, On Guard.
I'm just trying to get the foiling to show up nicely.
Mm-hmm. This,
we go.
What Amy pointed out looks like an underwater scene.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Even though I don't think it is.
Well, it's not, but that's why I say
but it does look like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
It is very cool. So,
yeah, I mean, talk about things not fitting the typical tropes. I mean, this is not what you expect a ranger to look like. The fourth blade was very out of left field. The cleric was not what I expected from a cleric deck. And the fencer wasn't either. So, I mean, the Phoenix Spellsword is kind of, self-explanatory.
But also amazing.
In its name, but also amazing, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not like you expected it to be opposite of what it was,
Sure.
But all these other ones are very unexpected. So,
and that's, that's really good to be able to, shirk tropes a little bit and kind of do stuff a little bit outside the box.
Yeah.
So, speaking of outside the box,
it obviously makes your mark as, not being, very rote.
Sure.
Not being like, ugh, okay. Like, it's a new thing, but it's only cool for about 5 seconds because we've seen it all before.
Yeah, you get to stake your claim on something a little bit more unique and interesting. And so, and obviously something else that's been helpful is a lot of the lore that we've been reading is unique and interesting. So we already passed by the perfect transition that I had earlier, but why don't we open up the box and see what's inside of it? It's fine. You're allowed to say the things you want to say. How dare you?
Are we going to read the back
yeah, that's
first?
right. We got to show off the back. Silly me. Okay. So yes, so this one also 3 out of 5 difficulty, intermediate difficulty is this deck, or intermediate complexity of the what the strategies that the deck is going to ask of you to implement. It says, so get ready for the fight of your life. Forget everything you know about collectible card games. In Varia, there aren't any minions to protect you or walls to hide behind. You raise the shield, you cast the spell, you swing for the win with your weapon of choice. If you want to rain down terror from afar, you'll have to fire those shots yourself.
Because he has a gun. I think it's like a gun that shoots arrows, so it's
kind of like a crossbow, but like a circular crossbow.
yeah, it's like a Gatling gun for arrows. See?
Yeah.
Can you tell? It's got a focus, but there we go. Now we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Gatling gun for arrows.
Well, and as we know, we'll see it in the end with the items, I'm sure, so we can find out more about it.
All right, let's open this guy up.
Correct. We'll see. I think we've been on the losing end of being able to use these pull tabs to perfect effectiveness, but we shall see. Nope. That's okay, though. It worked.
It worked fairly well.
Sure.
Rules and turn structure. What?
Yeah, perfect. So we have the full art version, so you can kind of see more of his feet there and more of the
It's beautiful.
land underneath him. Yeah, agreed. And don't forget to flip that over because that's where the lore is on the other side of his lovely art there. Jiro. So it says, Jiro is among the most skilled rangers on Forge. Born in a small Polabi village on one of the realm's outermost layers, Jiro travels the taiga. See, I said tundra, it's taiga. All right, fair enough. Hunting skyfish with his SK-8 harpoon cannon.
Skyfish?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
SK-8 or skate, depending on how they want us to be reading it. In the city layers where he sells his catch, he goes by Hash Bridge, both a shortening of his family name and a tribute to a heroic feat from his youth.
Hashi.
Oh, Hashi.
Meaning bridge.
Because I'm reading it and I'm like, why is bridge in parentheses when it's already a nickname? So thank you.
It's a bad vantage point for you to have to read these.
It's fine. During a hunt, Jiro found the bodies of a human from a city layer and his Polabi sky fishing guide. Jiro took the bodies back to his village and notified the families. When Emmy, we just learned about, a fencer and operative of a crime syndicate, claimed her boss's body, she asked about an antique jade pendant the boss had been wearing. Jiro said he had not seen the pendant and did not lie, but Emmy had her doubts. She could not try anything in the village, but when Jiro returns to the city to sell his next catch, she will be waiting. We did not do this on purpose in terms of the order in which we did these reviews. It was pure happenstance, but that's awesome because we just did Emmy, the Psychic Fencer deck last time, and now we are hearing about Emmy in the backstory of Jiro, or the lore of Jiro.
So cool.
Very awesome. I like how that works out.
Yeah. So maybe she is under the water, the icy water.
That sounds like...
dangerous.
Yeah, and improbable.
Yeah. Most things I say are improbable.
Oh, well, you know. Always good for like a in terms of like thinking of what's coming next and etc. I don't mind it whatsoever. We have glissade. I am not familiar with that word or what that word might mean.
Me neither.
But glissade. Okay.
It's a physical block with dexterity.
Correct. Very interesting. I mean, is it like, I guess it's like maybe like a riposte kind of a thing or something? Momentum. As long as you moved in either this moment or the previous moment, this action costs one less action point to perform.
Cool.
So that's really cool. It's like the concept of momentum, meaning like, because you were already in motion, this movement or this block or whatever becomes a little bit easier because you have your momentum behind you. Very realistic. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Okay.
Varia is good at that.
Yeah, exactly. Very intuitive. Okay, so there's more than one of those. More than two of those. Sky Reel Shot. Okay. So this is, I guess, one of the harpoons, I assume, but maybe not. Someone order 40 can of Handsome from Hashimoto Jiro. Wow. Okay.
All right.
It's ranged, and on hit, you engage your target. I guess because it's a sky reel, so you shoot them, and then you're able to reel in so that you are either you're moving relative to them, but you know it's like either you reel them in or you get to like follow the line back to your target, kind of a thing. Very cool. More than one of those. More than two of those. Ooh,
that's pretty.
It is. Also, I love the pun because it's the Polabi Express, so it's like the Polar Express, but it's not. Very cool. Physical attack dexterity. I mean, look, I love how at the beginning of the moment you engage your target. I love it. That's very much what's happening. He's definitely charging towards you as the viewer of this, right? So he's kind of rushing in. I like that a lot. And it's more momentum based stuff. So that seems to be the theme of this deck is momentum, which I also find interesting because it's like an icy background. And so typically it's not easy to get momentum on ice, right? So
I mean, it is if you're a polar bear.
I guess it's his favorite terrain, as I surmised earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, gorgeous colors.
Really
I mean,
cool.
And what a beautiful landscape this would be if the character wasn't in it. You know, like you could just hang that up on your wall.
Sure.
You know,
Very, very
I mean,
pretty.
you could hang this up on your wall too. Look at his knuckles.
Yeah.
Like, imagine seeing that coming straight for your face.
No, I don't want that. That's terrifying. No, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Gorgeous art.
beautiful.
And like you said, it kind of evokes that bit of like, oh God, like it's a little, you kind of hope that your opponent has that reaction when you play this against them. You're like, I'll play Polabi Express and like, oh crap,
And they really did a great job with like creating this sort of light ring around him.
Yeah.
Which, makes him show up more. But it's a little hard to see on camera, but it's a light that is like light yellow in color and a little bit orange, which is a complementary color of blue and purple. So it shows up a lot better because that light is just behind his body.
Very nice. Yeah. I love it. More than one of those. More than two of those. Ah, and here, so interesting. If I recall correctly, I think every other deck has had the main art from the front of the box and the like art card for the character as the first card that you come across in the deck. If I recall correctly.
I didn't notice that.
I think so. So this is if I'm correct, and people have the benefit of going back and watching our other videos to correct me or not correct me.
Tell him he's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You're more than welcome to do that, of course. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, I'm sure. Come watch our streams on Mondays. Anyway. But this one, Blood Scent, by the way. Very cool. I mean, even on the card itself, right? It's not that it wasn't that way on the box or on the art card, but he looks very like imposing and almost heroic.
Yeah.
Right? He's just kind of like standing there, ready to go. I like it. He looks really cool.
Yeah, very badass.
If your target has lost health since the start of the previous moment, you may engage them, and you may combine Blood Scent with your next planned action. Very interesting. Okay. I like that. And it's a fast, of course, because then it allows you to better determine if they are likely to lose health in the previous moment. And your opponent won't know, which is even better. Okay. Ooh.
Whoa.
Capricious Wind. Very gorgeous art.
Yeah. another one where the differentiations in color are a little bit difficult for you guys to see on camera. So I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see those details a little better.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like a cool striping
On the snow
that they did.
I love the residual energy coming out of the gun itself at the front there.
Beautiful.
Really awesome. And again,
they really made it look windy as hell.
Yes. And it's a magical block air, and they, as always, did an amazing job of making the art look comparable in a good way to the card frame. I have always loved that. I'm continuing to love that. It's just really great. Really, really great job.
Yeah.
And I mean, a sweet name for a card as well.
Yes.
Warning. Pressurizing tank without loading full ordnance may void warranty. SK8 Skyfisher User's Manual, never opened. Isn't that how it always goes? You're like, nah, I know how this thing works. I don't have to check. No, you probably should. Very nice.
Very nice.
And then there is more than one of those.
There are 2 of those, so.
Whirlwind Laceration. So this is the art from the back of the box.
Yes.
And again, this kind of seems like another one of those arts where we are in the perspective from inside of a wound, right? Looking out. Like all these lines here.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Are from like the inside of a wound looking
Gross.
out. Yeah. I love it. Oh, man. When you plan this action, so this is where our tokens will come from. You may create a Whirlwind Laceration token in the next available moment, and then as long as you moved in either this moment or the previous moment, this action has on hit, apply 3 bleeding to your target. And if I recall correctly, it was bleeding based in the last art that was like this in one of the prior decks that we reviewed.
Well, that would make sense, yeah.
Yes, that it seems like that's the motif art-wise for an attack that leaves bleed on your opponent, which is great.
Cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Alrighty. Couple of those.
Depressurize.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's sick.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Amy won't get this reference because we haven't done this game on Video Games for All, but it's very much looks like a Fusro Da to me, or a Fusro Da to me.
To me, this reminds me of our wedding picture where we're like silhouetted and then there's like a lot of purple.
Oh, okay, sure.
So nobody else is going to understand what I'm talking about, but while we're on the somebody won't get it. Yeah.
I love the line though. My grandpa taught me this trick. You're going to love it. Magical air attack. Move relative to your target or force your target to disengage from you. It's a fast action and you can pay another action point and discard this card from your hand at the end of any moment. And if you do, trigger this action's start of moment effect, which is the move relative to your target or force them to disengage. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus. Can you guys see that?
Good.
It's called Whiteout, in case you didn't figure that out.
Wow. What do you...
I'm trying to block the light.
No, I think they see it just fine.
It's not working.
I think they see it just fine. That is incredible.
It's so cool.
Wow. A magical block air water. Because, snow. Snow and ice. When you plan this action, you may create a whiteout token in the next available moment. Awesome. And you may repeat this up to 3 additional times. Before you pay to perform this action, you may replace it with an attack action from your hand.
Nice.
Oh, it's like you like sneak up in the whiteout and hit that is incredible.
So cool.
Oh, I love that. How clever. Amazing. Yeah, again, adds a fair bit of complexity. So really, really nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And there's appropriately only one of those because
Yeah.
it's pretty strong, it seems. Bind wounds, so we are up to the kind of generic portion of the deck.
Right, we
'cause
have
we've
seen this before.
seen this many times. Hot Fix, which I think we saw first in the Phoenix Spellsword, which is appropriate, but we've seen that many times as well. Unfazed, like our favorite generic card from the sets so far.
Awesome, dude.
Really, really cool, this guy. Coiled Serpent Strike. Just super badass looking, but one that we have also reviewed previously. Very cool. More than... Oh, no, not more than one of those?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, more than one of those. Okay.
They were just very sticky.
There's a Dodge as well. Appropriate. Important to have as well.
Yeah, always.
A Frost Foil, which just, I mean, incredible art still. Still love it.
Yeah, there were two of
More
those.
than one of those. Wind Walk.
Oh, this one I don't remember having seen.
Maybe we saw it once. It makes sense, though. It's a magical block air, which seems to be this deck's MO. And it's so, like, cartoony in comparison to everything else that we've seen. And that's not necessarily a negative, right?
No, I love it.
Right. And it shows the different art styles that could be on the cards that, you know, especially when you're talking about trying to take these cards and maybe put them in different decks or combine them with different cards from different decks to make your own unique deck out of. It's so interesting that even though this is a magical block air that you've seen many of in this deck, this one is different in the art style as well as the effect or whatever.
I just feel like I'm ready to see like a Care Bear run up behind her on one of these other clouds.
Ooh, and there's a lot of flavor text on this one. It says, my mother told me the stories about wizards walking on clouds, but I never believed I'd do the same, nor that it'd be so easy. Of course, it's not walking on clouds themselves exactly, but, oh look, birds, by Yvette Apprentice Aeromancer. Okay. Well, and you can actually kind of see that it's not walking on clouds exactly, because
Right.
you can see her, like, stepping on that, like, swirling pattern, and you can almost kind of see the swirling pattern fading from that prior cloud that she's coming off of, so I like that. It's almost like she's, like, hardening the water vapor in the cloud to be able to have
Create
a cushion to
surface.
stand on.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Very cool.
I like it.
I do too.
We have Kiro's Piercing Fang, which we have also seen before.
So cool.
Very, very awesome looking. Definitely agree. We have Spell Piercer, also amazing looking.
Yeah.
And also one that we've seen previously. Weeping Cut. So here's the one, right?
Yeah.
On a hit, apply 3 bleeding to your target. And this is 100% exactly what I was thinking of.
Yep.
And it's got that same motif as that earlier art that we saw. Very, very awesome.
Gross.
But I like that. I like that it, like, you now know, like, hey, there's art like this. I bet you it applies bleeding, you know? Like,
Right.
if we were to see that art again in a future deck, either one of the last 2 that we have from this set or a future release, Season 3 or beyond.
Yeah.
Really cool. We are on to the items. Here is the SK8 Skyfisher.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at it. It's awesome.
It's very cool.
Is that, like, just, like, fabric wrapping over there?
I can't tell.
It looks like it. Very cool.
It's a weapon item cannon.
Yeah, really awesome. And it's a physical attack precision dexterity. To the cub with the perfect aim is the barrel description, or inscription, I should say. Really cool. And then again, on a hit, engage your target. Okay, so I guess again it's a harpoon, right? So, or it shoots harpoons. So you harpoon your target and then go up to them, because you've hit them or pierced them, if you will. Really cool. I like this.
Very cool. I love the wood grain texture that's happening here.
In the background.
It did an amazing job with it.
I'm curious what the other item is going to be. I mean, in the art he's holding an axe, but I can't. It hasn't really been talked about, so I'm curious. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Okay. It's a frontier pickaxe. So it's more of like an item that you would think to use to climb ice, right? Or rock climb or whatever, than specifically an item used for combat, although, you know, any port in a storm. Fast and reach. It can't be combined with actions that have ranged. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It's a physical attack precision dexterity. This handcrafted climbing tool's razor teeth bite through ice and bone with equal ease.
Wow.
And it is considered an axe. So, weapon item axe. Very awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay.
It's so real looking.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And again, that wood grain in the background
Yeah,
going
it's
along
sick,
from the previous, like you can just tell, you know,
that.
he's like in a hut in the tundra somewhere, or the taiga, as was mentioned.
He's in a sauna, clearly.
I mean, I'm sure he would love that at the end of the. Well, he's
I mean,
a polar
I
bear.
would.
Maybe he wouldn't. Yeah, I'd love that right now. It's cold here in the Northeast
Yes,
United
it
States.
is.
Okay, and then we have seen these before, but still important to check out the stacks here. We have fatigue and molten. More stacks. These are confused and bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
This bleeding are the one from the card that applies bleeding in this deck, which is great. We move on to the tokens. So we have Air Blast, magical attack air.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. What is this from?
So his blast coming out of his gun thing, his cannon, goes next to this, basically.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. I want to see that. I want to see if I can find it. Hopefully, I grabbed far enough ahead.
So I'll move it to the right so you can, when you find it, you can set it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, yeah, here it is. From Capricious Wind.
Yeah.
There you go. Amazing. I love when that happens. In fact,
cool.
It's possible that we've missed some because I haven't seen any of that in this season yet.
Right.
And that was something that was really interesting about season 1. So I'm sure we've missed some or we haven't gotten to them yet, but very, very cool.
Yeah, I love it.
I like that a lot.
I love it so much.
Yeah, like it's just really well done. Really, really well done and interesting. So I'll give those back to you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Then behind the Air Blast token, the Whirlwind Laceration token.
Nice.
So not only that Whirlwind Laceration is going to make you get a lot of cards out of the sideboard, or whatever you want to call it, the side area, because you're going to get these Whirlwind Laceration tokens. You're going to get the bleed stacks, like all these things that you're going to have to get when you use that one card, which is pretty impressive. I mean, it means that, you know, to me, that means that the card does so much. It's so versatile. So then you have the whiteout token.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Did they give you more than one of those? Yeah, of course they did. That makes sense. Because they said you could do it any number of times, right? Or up to 3 times or whatever after that. And then as we end all of these decks with a cutout and assemble card in case you do not have access to a D6 and or a D4.
And on the back of that is the turn structure information.
Correct.
For
that we
how to
saw
play
at
the game.
top. Very true. Okay. I mean, hey,
Alrighty.
very cool and interesting. I like this one. Yeah, sorry. I don't exactly know where I was going there. I do. I like this one. It's, again, like you said, kind of different form. Because as you mentioned, right, I would also agree. I think rangers are typically associated with the forest and with bow and arrow, not with harpoons and with taiga or tundra space.
Right.
But this
Sorry.
but this seems really awesome, and I like this character, and I like that he's a polar bear.
I like that he goes sky fishing. Because what the hell? But
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, if there are skyfish, why wouldn't you go sky fishing?
Yeah.
So obviously, as we said at the top and as you've been seeing at the bottom of your screen, if you want to pick up this deck or any of the other decks that we've reviewed from Season 2, definitely make sure that you go to guildhousegamesllc.com/shop and use the code, or if you do, don't forget to use the code GEEK4ALL for 10% off your purchase. Thank you once again to Guildhouse Games for giving us the opportunity to review all of these decks. This is so much fun.
Yes.
We're really enjoying
It's
ourselves.
really incredible.
Yeah. And it's obviously it's an honor to be asked And what a cool thing for us to be able to do.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. It's an experience, and it's an experience every time.
Yeah.
And it's a very new experience every time, and it's something we're grateful for.
Of course. Very much agreed. So, as always, we would love to hear your thoughts about this deck, about our analysis. Was there something that you noticed that we didn't, or something more that you wanted to talk about? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. That's what it is for. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but if you check the links down in the description box below, we do have other channels. We have Video Games for All and Gluten Free for All. So if those sound interesting to you, please don't forget here and over there to subscribe and ring that bell so you will get notifications whenever any of our videos come out, including the 2 decks that we have left to review from Season 2 of these Varia Kickstarter decks. We're looking forward to it. Should be over the next 2 weeks, so definitely stay tuned for that. Again, thank you and shout-outs to Guildhouse Games, to Sean, and to Ant.
Yes.
They are awesome, and we really, really appreciate
Rock stars.
it. Right?
Amazing.
So, and
Great people.
Yes. And thank you all for being here. If you want more from us, besides checking out those our channels and checking out our videos as they come out, don't forget that we are live every Monday and Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time right here on this channel. Every Monday we are playing MTG Arena, and every Friday we're playing random video games. This Friday in particular, we are continuing our playthrough of X-Men Legends, the original for the PlayStation 2. And then last but not least, if you are interested in Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PlayStation 5, I will be joining our friend Dave, another member of the Varia family of content creators. I will be joining Dave to continue our playthrough of that game over on twitch.tv/insanegamestv_ on Wednesday this week from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern as well.
And if you want to check out his work not associated with Insane Games, he is at DAM314
on Twitch as well. That's absolutely correct. Shoutouts to Dave. And that is going to be the end of this particular video. I really hope everybody enjoyed. Like I said, any and all thoughts that you might have, that's what the comments are for. We would love, love, love to hear from you.
Yes.
Whether it's about these cards that we looked at today, whether it is any of the, like I said, opinions or whatever that we have had, we would love to hear from you. And so, for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.